Ahoj, tady Petra a podcast Filmová 174. Venku máme parné léto, tak se pojďme na chvilku vrátit do června, kdy to ještě s tím počasím nebylo tak šílené a navíc nám probíhal 63. ročník Zlín Film Festivalu. Na něm si Gert Hermans povídal například s delegací filmu What the Fine Summer of Surprise. No a o čem, tak to si poslechnete právě teď.
Ahoy! Welcome to the Zlín Film Festival Bubbles. We have today very special guests in our bubble. One of the most bubbling and sparkling guests we had so far. And I'm really proud to welcome them here. We have for the film What the Fine Summer of Surprise. We have Lotte Engels, who is one of the main characters in the film. And we have Stefan Westerwelle, who is the director of the film. There was this song once that said, "The boy in the bubble." Well, today there's three in the bubble, and we're gonna ask them some questions about their film and about how they are appreciating the Zlín Film Festival. Stefan, maybe you're the one who could tell me what the story is about in 5 sentences.
Yeah, that's always the most difficult task, right?
Yeah.
It's about a boy who thinks that he kind of got lost, and he meets Yola. She persuades him to go to the sea, and they steal a tractor. And on this tractor, they try to go to the sea. That's it. That's the whole story.
Yes.
And the sea, why?
Because the sea is always a place of longing, and I don't know. It's one of the most beautiful places I can imagine. And so, why shouldn't children want to go there? And of course, it's Yola's biggest dream to go to the sea. Yeah.
So they make a road trip together, and on this trip they meet a bunch of
Weirdos.
yeah, that's the right word. But not all of those weirdos are nice people. The first impression that we get, especially about adult people, is that they're not so very nice.
In our movie or in life?
Let's say in your movie.
All right.
The first people. Afterwards it changes, but the first people are...
Yeah, I think they're all doing their job. So they, and of course, like we made a movie that is told through the perspective of children, and of course, like grown-ups seem to be super weird. But in fact, when you look at it closely, like the policeman, what should they do? Like instead of bringing her to the police office, and of course they're not. They don't seem to be nice, of course, but in fact they're just doing their duty.
Yes. Yes.
You agree that grown-ups are super weird in general?
Yes.
What's the name of those police people? They had a cool name.
The woman police is
Frau Hase.
Frau Hase, and the man's police name is Fox.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the translation in English was Fox and Rabbit. I thought that was a really cool...
Yeah,
because that was actually the thing that I wanted to know. From all the crazy people that we meet, so that you had to work with on the set for a few days, we have lots of colorful characters are crossing the path over the two protagonists. Which ones were your favorite characters to develop or to work with?
But with all of them, honestly, it sounds like super boring. But we really like working with everybody. Yes. What I always found like important.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the actors. I'm talking about the character. Like, there's a crazy policeman. There is a guy running around naked. There's a bunch of motorcycle Hells Angels.
So we have a scene like that takes place in a toy shop for adults, and I think that was like the nicest character. We added it to the film. It's not like it's not in the novel.
Book. Yes, in the novel. Yes.
And so we invented her, him. Who knows? So and I always like these characters that there are like you can't put in a box, and that's the reason why I think I like that most. Did you like her?
Yes. Yes, I like her. I think it was very crazy to work with her or him.
So maybe for all of those who haven't watched the movie yet, it's a drag queen. It's a very famous drag queen in Berlin.
Yes.
It's a famous drag queen.
What name?
Ades Zabel.
Ades Zabel.
You also had some scenes with a bunch of really wild motorcycle drivers. How was that?
Yeah, that's was the rockers. That was very cool to work with her. In one scene, we are driving with the rockers, And that was very funny and crazy to sit on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we make it sound like it's all funny and weird, and it is, but there's also a little sadness behind it.
Yeah.
Because it is about a boy that is not hurt. He's trying to tell his problems and nobody listens.
And it's about a girl who doesn't feel loved by her parents just because she's different or she acts differently. And this is something we added to the movie too. You can't find it in the novel, but I always find it very important that when you try to entertain children, that there always have to be like a subtle level of reflection. And this is what I always, that's what I really like about the movie. Sometimes it might be a little difficult for the young audience to follow, but I think it's a very, very important part of the movie to show that these kids are really struggling with emotional issues, like, am I loved, where's home and stuff.
Yes.
And I always find that important. And that's a very personal perspective. Traveling is always a bit like dying, isn't it? So you leave home, you go to somewhere else, and you're always wondering, is someone thinking of me, because life just continues without you? And that's always a very melancholic feeling, which might be extremely German. The melancholy and the romance and stuff, you know?
But it also hits you in Czech Republic.
I think so. Culturally, we're very like very much the same, right? That's what you mean, right? Czech Republic,
No,
Germany.
I was just checking now that you're here in Czech Republic how lonesome and melancholic you are. But let's talk about.
I'm a very melancholic person.
Okay, we have something to talk about after the interview, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they're running away together. Two different characters. What do they learn? How do they complete each other? What do they learn from each other?
Do you want to try to explain that?
I think they learn to like each other because they are so different peoples, and different peoples are. Yes, that's.
And your character is she's always longing for freedom and for action and for.
Yes, a very wild person, and she's not afraid of anything, or yes.
Yeah.
And I think Lotte has like the more complex development, because she's like the wild character. She loves adventure, and honestly, she's always thinking about herself. But like in the middle of the movie, when she gets closer to Finn, she suddenly learns something like empathy, and she understands. Okay, this boy is really in a. He's kind of hurt, or he's sad, and he's sad. And that's the first moment when this character opens up and said, okay, my goal is maybe not as important as the goal of the other person. And so she decides to get the backpack back.
This is a question for the director. In one way or another, we're talking about a road movie, traveling. You really make very good use of the landscape. It's ordinary German landscape, but you use it really well, I think.
Well, yeah. So I think I'm used to road movies. They're like one of these typical American genres. And when you know road movies, you know where how do you say it, where the bars are. And I think you can't make a road movie without landscape. That's it. And we shot in Germany, and we in the pre-production, we traveled through the country and said, okay, this is a good landscape, this is a good landscape, and maybe this is not working as good as all the others. And we're very good location scouts, and that's it. So I'm not the only one working on a project.
I have my famous last question. We are in Zlín. I don't know if people told you about, but the glorious empire, and I mean the glorious empire of the city of Zlín is built upon one thing: shoes.
Yeah.
It's built upon a certain brand of shoes,
Bata
shoes. So that's why everyone in the studio, I asked them, could you please show us your shoes? You can put them on the table and tell why you are wearing these shoes. What's the story behind your shoes? And everyone has a shoe story. You can put your feet there.
I honestly have a story behind it. I like sneakers that have a touch of ugliness, and these sneakers do have it, and I think they perfectly match my outfit. That's the reason why you want me to get up and show it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. And you, Lotte, what's special about your shoes? Show them again.
Yes, I have bought my shoes yesterday because of the screening and the interviews, and yes, I like Chuck's Converse shoes. Are like
American, right?
Yes.
Freedom again,
but
stuff.
And I
telling
like
me
white
that you
shoes.
bought your shoes especially for the TV interview sounds like super nice. Now I have the idea that maybe I should pay you back for the shoes that you bought, but we might not do that.
We discussed that outside, right?
Okay, so thank you so much for being here in our festival bubble. Like the West Ham supporters sing every day, every game, we'll be forever blowing bubbles. That's what we'll do with nice and cool festival guests like the ones we had today. I hope you're going to enjoy your stay in Zlín, and I wish you lots of fun in the festival.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Další, koho si Gert pozval do studia, byla režisérka filmu She Hero.
Ahoy! Welcome to the Zlín Film Festival Bubble. Today we have special guests in our bubble bed where we speak about the festival and about the films that are presented here. We're very proud to have a guest here today to talk about the film She Hero. Her name is Mira Fornay. She's the director, and I would like to ask her, can you tell in, let's say, 5 sentences what the film... Yeah, this film can be explained in 5 sentences, I think. It's very well possible. I think you can do it.
Yes, I can do it in 1 sentence.
Yeah, I thought so, but it sounds a little bit like humiliating. The film that could be resumed in 1 sentence is...
Okay, so it's a story of a little girl called Romy, and she's looking for her bird in the forest, ancient forest, and that's it. Simple. And she's meeting like people.
Exactly, and she's using also...
It's a forest road movie.
And she's using also a second bird to try to catch the first one.
Yes.
And it made me think that they always say that people who have dogs and go walking with dogs, they meet other dog people and then they start talking. So dogs help you to connect with other people.
Yes.
In this case, birds help her to connect with other people.
Lost bird.
Lost bird, yeah.
Lost bird.
Because she meets a lot of people in the forest.
Yes, she do.
What
does.
What kind of people does she meet?
But you saw the film.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm the talker here. Okay, good. She meets like a random kind of ordinary people, let's say. It's not very excited characters, I would know. It's not like they're not supernatural force, whatever, you know. It's like normal, ordinary characters which you really can find in the forest. So you meet like, okay, there are like the soldier is not pretty much, he's magic, so he's maybe, there is one magic, like realistic magic character. But the others, like the emperor from the gravel pit, he exists. He's played by actor, but the gravel pit exists, exists. Then she meets like this lost old lady. She can be also found in the forest. There are many of lost ladies in the forest, and there's like people like who has like these little huts, like these little sheds in the forest, which are mostly like the fishermen's and they live there. So
it's a very lively forest where you can meet a bunch of interesting personalities.
Yes.
But the main personality is this girl. She's in the center of the whole story.
Yeah, she doesn't live in the forest. She just walk around or walk through the forest.
Yeah, but when first let me ask you this: when in the opening scene of the film, when we are like entering the forest, it's like we're gonna enter some strange universe that is a little bit away from the rest of the world. It's like a gate to a magical world that she's walking into. That was very much how I got into the story.
That's good, huh? It's like fairy tale in this way. It's a realistic, realistic fairy tale, let's say. And yes, like for me, it was kind of, I think like for every kid, when you enter a forest, it's kind of like adventure. So she is entering the forest and starting an adventure.
And who is she? Can you tell? Yeah, she's in every scene of the movie. She carries the whole thing. If you think back about this movie, you only see one person? Like she's there all the time? Who's she?
Yes, she's. Her real name is Rosmarina. We call her Romy in the film. She's 8 years old, very curious girl, little girl, and she's. I think like she goes against all the stereotypes about like kids, like girls in that age. Like she's not this kind of princess, like save me and stuff. Like she's very kind of focused and action orientated, like person.
I think she was also a bit of a stubborn person.
She's stubborn person.
Once she has something in her head, you're not going to talk it out of her.
Yeah. She's like this in real life, I would say. Yeah, and she has this friend Tipko in the film. He's kind of more feminine guy, more kind of like he thinks more than do. She's the action and he's the thinker. So they're like perfect couple. And basically he gave her the idea about the birds and stuff. And basically he's the one who has the ideas and she is the girl like who is doing the action.
Yeah. In your whole explanation, there's a lot of he and she and she and she because it's very much all over the film.
Yes.
And it's even in the credits that, well, it's even in the title.
Yes.
Like the she hero. And then in the credits you also tell us like the she scriptwriter and she camera
She scriptwriter,
person.
there is nothing like that, but because like it's my film, but I did many things in this, but in English you don't have this she, like in Slovak and Czech you have like producer she, like it, you know, it's not used, like we're not using it, like women working in this she roles, like using also the men titles. It's kind of like business thing like this, but I trying to change it. So even in the Slovak titles for Slovak audience, like there is the female versions of the professions, which is also not very usual. So usually it's producer, film director, cameraman, you know, and now we have a camera woman, production girl, like, you know, like everything like.
Yeah, and you really emphasize it in the credits, which is a nice thing to do, and you also can feel it throughout the story.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. You succeeded in your mission, I think.
That's good.
There is. It's difficult to talk about this film without mentioning the typical rhythm it has that is
slow,
different from many other films. What defines this? Yeah, it's slow, or you can call it natural, or you can call it many different things. But what defines the rhythm of this story? Why? How come this is the?
Wow. What defines the?
Or why did you choose to make it this slow?
I don't know. Like it's just intuition, maybe. I just didn't.
So your intuition defined the rhythm.
Defined it. I had a supervisor for editing because I edited myself, and she like she supervisor. she was like she's very well known editor. She's lady. She works with Kieślowski and Kusturica. And when I want to make the rhythm more action, she said no. This film needs to, because it's adventure, I think, like so, and it's like about curiosity and exploring things. So it's not about achievement; it's more about the journey. Yeah. So I think like this is the definition why the rhythm is very specific, because like you need to have a time for exploring things and to be curious. You need a certain rhythm. It's like traveling to unknown land. As a tourist, for example, like you also not, okay, some people take bus and then this and this, but this time like we just walk around the space.
I was afraid to ask you this question, and then you were like, "Why are you asking me this question?" And then you give me such a fantastic answer. That's really that's exactly the kind of super interesting thought about the rhythm of the film. Unfortunately, I only can ask you one more question.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
It's the famous last question that we have. We're in Zlín, city built upon shoes. Can you show us your? Can you show us your shoes and tell us what's the story behind your shoes?
Really, this is real story. Like this is real
really
question.
happening, my dear.
Okay, good. Okay, I have. I bought them yesterday.
You see?
Yes.
There is something to tell about.
Yes, because like my other shoes, like which I bought in Berlin during Berlinale, because like I had enough of high heels.
Where this film won the prize.
Yes, prize.
We didn't have time to mention it, but we thought shoes were more important.
That gets so dirty that I must buy a new one here. So this is the story of the shoes. I like them. It was sell out.
Sales. Yeah.
Sales. So very good price for nice shoes.
Good job. So this is the only festival interviews where shoes are more important than awards. But I'm happy we spoke about the shoes. I'm happy we spoke about the film.
Yes.
We'll be forever blowing bubbles, like the West Ham supporters say, and we will do it with interesting festival guests for the next couple of days. And we were very happy to have Mira Fornay today.
Thank you very much for having me. Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Dnešní filmová 174 je u konce a pokud byste chtěli slyšet i další díly, stačí nás sledovat buď na Spotify nebo na dalších podcastových platformách. Tak se na vás budu těšit zase příště. Já jsem Petra Pivková a tohle je podcast Filmová 174.